Scales. Does delegation to administrative agencies violate the separation of powers? The delegation of legislative power to administrative agencies or bodies is a common practice in many legal systems and is not inherently a violation of the principle of separation of powers. However, the extent to which such delegation is permissible depends on various factors, including the specific legal framework, the nature of the delegated authority, and the safeguards in place to prevent abuse. Here are some key points to consider. 1. Constitutional framework. In many countries, the principle of separation of powers is enshrined in the Constitution. While the legislature is typically responsible for making laws, legislative power, the executive branch enforces them, and the judiciary interprets them. However, the exact division of powers may vary depending on the specific constitutional provisions too. Delegation of legislative power. Delegating legislative power to administrative agencies allows for the implementation of detailed regulations and policies that address complex and evolving issues. Such delegation is often necessary due to the technical expertise required to regulate certain sectors effectively. 3. Limits on delegation. While delegation is permissible, there are often limits imposed by the Constitution or by statute. For example, delegations must provide clear guidelines and standards for administrative action, and agencies must not exceed their authority or act arbitrarily. 4. Non-delegation doctrine. Some legal systems have doctrines, such as the non-delegation doctrine, which limits the ability of Congress to delegate its legislative powers. However, the courts have generally interpreted this doctrine narrowly, allowing for broad delegations of authority to administrative agencies as long as Congress provides an intelligible principle to guide the agency's actions. 5. Checks and balances. Effective systems of checks and balances help prevent abuse of delegated authority. This may include judicial review of administrative actions, oversight by the legislative branch, and mechanisms for public input and accountability. In conclusion, while delegation of legislative power to administrative agencies is a common practice and often necessary for effective governance, it must be done within the framework of the Constitution and subject to appropriate safeguards to ensure that it does not undermine the principle of separation of powers or lead to abuse of authority.